This isn't your traditional capability statement, but it has real scope. It's backed by successful performance, solid credentials, proven operational readiness, a professional look, and it's fully execution ready for government missions. But let's go ahead and peel back that onion, starting with the S. A lot of times on capability statement for successful past performance, we'll see it listed what government agencies that the organization has worked with. Sometimes we see the little coin style logos that go across the middle, demonstrating again different branches of the military service or different federal or state level agencies. But this organization, Gov Bid Writers, has done this a little bit differently. As you can see here, right here in this kind of brown background session, we see that their success speaks for itself. And they've kind of done this with numbers. They say that they've got 100+ proposal customers, $50 billion worth of proposal wins, not million, but billion, $3 billion of invoice payroll funding annually. So a different service that we'll see here shortly that they offer, and over 2,200 global staffing recruiters. So sometimes the numbers do actually speak for themselves. And I'm sure if they needed to go into more detail about some of those successful candidates or companies, if they didn't have an NDA or something like that, I'm sure that they would be able to easily demonstrate that. The C stands for company credentials. And we can see here, if we scroll down just a wee bit, this is a 2-page capability statement. I know folks tend to stick to the standard 1 page. This is kind of a digital format. It is a PDF that's downloadable, but we see here at the very bottom of the first page, we see the company's or organization's EIN number, UEI, cage code, and their primary NAICS code there. And if we come back down to page 2, this is where their points of contact for easy reference can be made. And the typical email address, phone number, and website. And if we take a look at the email address here, we see that this isn't like a support at govbidwriters.com or a hello. This is actually going to go to a human, a person. And that's cool because the government definitely wants to be able to reach out and touch a individual when they have questions or they want to entertain the company or find out more information, as opposed to feeling like they're just going to a junk email box or distribution list or something. Nothing wrong with having that type of a distribution list, but when you're speaking with the government, definitely want to put down a individual that the government can reach out to. And the same goes for whoever's phone numbers is listed here. And for O, the operational capability, if we scroll out a bit and come to the services that are provided, we can see different services that the organization offers, starting with the headers here, proposal writing, and then we see a few bullets there on what they can assist individuals and the government with. Then workforce solutions, temp to permanent or direct hire. Again, this is kind of augmenting or even being one that can be put onto contract to perform these services. And the government has a lot of these contracts that come out from time to time, manning and basically putting bodies on contract. And last but not least, funding solutions. This one, I'm not sure if the government will use this, but this is just an additional service to unique, I won't say small, but businesses that may need funding, payroll funding, invoice financing. And that's, again, as they say here, when banks say no, we say yes. So if individual or business leaders having problems kind of, especially on the products-based side, 90-day or something where they need to be able to have that money up front to purchase and then deliver those goods and services before they actually receive the money, then this is the type of service that they offer, in addition to, of course, proposal writing. Team credentials here, you see a lot of these different certifications that are aligned with proposal writers there. And then they talk about the different disciplines, banking executives, federal senior, federal contracting specialists, etc., that kind of augment or compose the team. And then some testimonials here. If we scroll down, we see this again supporting a vehicle, a GSA 8A and a STARS 3. This from a president of an organization. This is again some of the certifications that organization holds. And then here on the right, we see a service disabled veteran owned small business, some testimonials there. So again, it's pretty clean, pretty polished, pretty comprehensive, and it kind of goes together, which leads to the P, which stands for professional visual design. And, we won't talk again about the colors, but again, this just flows there. And I think most capability statement do need some kind of picture or imagery. Again, if this was just all words or writing and you have a contracting specialist or a core that takes a look, you kind of want to have something that's a wow, either a statement, numbers, but again, pictures are worth 1,000 words. So this we can see here the state capitol here in DC, and then very faintly there in the background some towering towers there, subdued. The opacity is kind of behind the text, but this to me evokes strength, government service work that they can provide. These services there, aspirational goals, resiliency, and just someone that can kind of deliver with the pitch. At least that's the first thing, that these are the things that jump out to mind here. So if you're in the IT, the logistical, the services, grass cutting, just depending on your niche, if you can, just find an image that kind of can align with the services of your organization. And that's another thing, just proper alignment. Does this document flow from the company's name, the first thing that you read, to kind of a headline or a teaser, 2 to 3 sentences on what this organizational structure can provide? And if someone stops reading there, is it enough to leave and remember them 3-4 days later without having to pull this back up? And then again, we get down to the services, the testimonials, the team credentials, and of course, information about the company. So I think overall, this is a very cohesive document, fits the bill, and it just simply works. And last but not least, the E. This capability statement would show to me, and hopefully the government, that this organization is execution ready. They're ready to deliver on the services. They're backed up not just by these numbers, but again by steadily showing the team and the makeup of what they have and the services that they continue to deliver time and time again, especially looking at this $50 billion number and the 2,200 staff and recruiters. Again, always if it's to be believed, but I'm sure, again, I don't dismiss it, that they can back up these numbers if they're putting it out there. And so again, just very clean, very crisp. The only thing I would point out, if I had to say something, is tend to like proper alignment. And it is aligned, but if we see here, these 3 columns here, this last one, this first bullet, I would have tried to kind of cut it off to make this line come straight across and shorten this last one. Even if we took out that when banks say no, we say yes, and move this up, it probably would have been aligning so that this second bullet aligns perfectly with these, just like the first and second columns do. Very small, but just, something that jumps out to my eye. We see here they keep both of these on 2 lines, the numbers same height, the margins between each, except for this one, seem to be pretty on par. Probably could have moved this a little bit more to the left, grouped this together, and brought this a little bit more to the right to have equal distancing here and here. But this is just me nitpicking now, being small on the eye. Again, we see name, title, company, and then certification. So again, this lines up pretty perfectly. But overall, this is just a capability statement that I came across while perusing the web, and I just wanted to point out kind of how they are in scope. And so if you have a capability statement out there, or if you don't, definitely this is one that you can try to find. And I won't say emulate down to a T, but if you really have no clue, no idea, then maybe it's best within your niche or within your industry or sector to just try to find 3 to 4 that look pretty good to your eye, and then reverse engineer them, and of course plug and play the numbers, the details, and the metrics for your company. So definitely leave a comment down in the chat and let me know what you think about this capability statement here, what could have been done better, or if it looks perfectly fine to you, would definitely love to hear from you. But thank you so much for rocking in here today with Gov Ignite. And until next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and peace.